on in. Merry Christmas. Oh, come sit down. There you go. Pop yourself down. There you are. Can I get you a drink? Oh, I've got a Chardonnay. I like 'em rocky and calm. I'll be back in a flash. Oh, just gonna check the turkey, dear. Oh, shit. Oh, God, I've burnt the turkey. Nothing, dear. You just sit there and enjoy yourself. Stay seated. Just keep your pop down fine. Just... Oh, I don't need a hand. Oh, that's hot. Oh, no, dear. Just run it under washer for a couple minutes. Oh, and here's your Chardonnay. Oh, yes, that's red wine. Hold on. Oh, God, what is going on, Mrs. Doubtfire?
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Saturday, December 26th. Happy first day of Kwanzaa and happy Boxing Day. I'm Jay Skeets, and alongside me, as always, Cass Millis.
Hello, my athletic friends.
Cassie. We got young Santa staying warm there. Nice hoodie or boxer, whatever the heck that is. Trey Kirby.
Hey-o.
Hey. Oh. We got the international man of mystery taking it to the max. Lee Ellis.
Hello.
Ooh, not bad, Lee. And last but not least, making the magic happen, it's JD.
We getting time and a half for this, or?
No, JD, we're not. No, we actually have to pay the Athletic to do this show. Shout out to the stream team. Thanks for joining us live on YouTube right now. Make sure you all like and subscribe and comment. Do what you got to do to help us out. Help us grow the No Dunks YouTube channel. Email us your NBA questions and comments to nodunks@theathletic.com and go grab yourself some sweet No Dunks merchandise at nodunks.com. We got hoodies and t-shirts and even a Good Morning Sweet World mug. Guys, you'll be happy to know it's a day late. Christmas was yesterday, but our Good Morning Sweet World mugs that we all got, shout out to Breaking Tea, have just arrived, Tass. They just showed up this morning. Santa was running a little late, but I'll get those mugs to you guys maybe later today or over the weekend. How was Christmas before we get into the actual games, which were a big fat turd? Everybody get what they wanted? Trey, did you get your, weren't you getting like a video game system or something? You're like a 12-year-old
Yeah,
boy.
buddy. Got that Nintendo Swiznitch, and I'm loving it, Skeets. Yeah, you know, I thought I could spare an hour from dominating the world of Mario. It's great. It's a great throwback. You know, I was looking at the girls playing on the couch. I was like, this is just like my Christmases back in the day. You know, you're 6 years old, you open a Nintendo product, and you play Mario for the whole day. It was
Mario
great.
World?
Mario Odyssey and Mario Kart. It's like no matter what the system is for Nintendo, they've got the exact same set of games that you get. Biggest hit in our house, though, was a tiny little drone. You know, a drone is like, I don't know, probably 3 inches by 3 inches. They're flying it all over the place. They're calling it Mr. Droney Pants. Droney Pants for short. Droney for short. A huge hit until it gets caught in Ada's hair. Not good with the old tangle. We finally get it out. I had to change the blades, but it was broken. Apparently, kid hair and drones do not mix. But man, those 20 minutes were exciting.
Well, luckily it was in. You said it was in Ada's hair.
Yeah.
Well, less curly than Isla's. Maybe easier to get out.
Exactly right. That's going to be the next level. We're going to see if we can pull it out of those mess of curls.
Okay. Wow. What a day at the Kirby household.
fun.
Lee, how's it going over there? Are you surviving, mate?
Yeah, I got a pair of indoor-outdoor slippers, but
wow.
my day was great. But yeah, the boys.
So what? Your day was just going indoors and outdoors,
just testing them out. Yeah, just testing them out. And as it turns out, you can't use them for outdoor. They're either outdoor slippers or they're indoor slippers. So now I've got one pair of slippers instead of two. Yeah, a lot of Lego, a lot of chess pieces, a lot of Mastermind. We played Mastermind yesterday. Built some forts. Yeah, very chilly day, beautiful day, but very cold here in Atlanta. So we spent most of the day inside, but lots of fun just seeing the kids and seeing that excitement on their face when they woke up and sprinted downstairs and we're all in on Santa. It's
Good.
Great to see.
So everybody is happy. No tears were shed. Nobody was getting boots.
No, yeah, look, they got into each other's grill a little bit during the day, but that happens anyway. But overall, there was enough of dadisms in me to be like, listen, Stan has given you so much goddamn Lego. If you're going to fight over it, you're going to throw it in the trash now.
Oh boy, Dad's testy.
You can't drop a GD on Christmas. The days. You can't drop it on Christmas.
I think Dad wore his slippers outside, and now he's upset. He's dragging in the dirt. All right, well, I'm glad. JD, how's it going over there?
It's going great. Little opposite for us. I finally caved, and Rachel caved, and we finally got the kids Grand Theft Auto GTA 5. So it was all lovely and wholesome until about 10 a.m. when they fired up the PlayStation and it's mother effer this and mother effer that, and robbing banks and taking down gangsters. But hey. It was awesome.
It's a fun game. It's very fun. And Tass, finally, how are the girls?
Oh, they're great. They're great. You know, I guess Santa showed up, did a lot of work. I guess he's got a hole in his mask because he was chomping on a lot of cookies we left him. I mean, he went to town. It was pretty good to see him. He got around. He got around the whole world, I heard.
Oh, that's fantastic. Awesome. Well, we're here on...
what about you, man? What about you?
I mean, it's honestly just like any other day here at my house. Oh, we got Luna now. That's exciting. We got some toys for Luna. It was great. It was great. It was a very chill day. I mean, it was disappointing. I know you guys are in the same boat. Like, we usually travel somewhere. You know, we're traveling to see family down south like Lee, or you go to Chicago or whatever, or we go up to Canada. So we couldn't do that this year. So that's sad, disappointing. My sister just had a baby not too long ago too, like 5-6 days ago. So that would have been great to see little Lachlan. But you know, the flip side of it is it was pretty damn relaxing. Like, we didn't have to travel and bounce around party to party and stuff like that and see this person in the freezing cold. Yeah, it was pretty relaxing. So it was great. Thank you for asking. It was a lot better than the basketball. That was disappointing. We're here to recap all the games, our biggest takeaways from each game. This may not be a long podcast, JD, so you're going to be out of here in a second. But, we had 5 double-digit decisions. NBA teams won by an average of 23.2 points on Christmas. We didn't really have close games, like nothing down the stretch. Had some close halves. Looked like we were going to have some potential great games, but in the end, we had some dominant teams, some dominant performances. But let's just tackle these in order here. Our biggest takeaway, I think, is the best way to do it. First game was the Heat beating the Pelicans 111-98. Ironically, ends up being like the closest game of the day, even though it wasn't all that close. But Tass, what's your big takeaway from Miami getting their first W of the season?
Well, for me and for my family, it's just watching Zion Williamson work. I mean, there's a lot of things to take from this game, but I guess if there was one player who could be a good Santa Claus, I think it could be Zion Williamson. He seems jolly. He seems like he's pretty spry. He can get around the world no problem. Even though he looks round, he ain't round. It's cool to see him fully healthy, and it's always amazing when you look at the box score afterwards that he got 32 and 14 as a guy who is not the number one option on a team, because he isn't really a guy you can just go to and essentially say, hey, destroy this guy in one way or another. Although when he gets it on the perimeter, he can break down his defender, and he is going to get so many opportunities with this Pelicans team because of poor guard play, it feels like, with Eric Bledsoe and Lonzo Ball, guys who aren't necessarily scorers for 48 minutes, and they had a combined 11 points. So Zion went to work, and it was a typical Heat win on the other side. Really, they just do it by committee. I know some people, Skeets, for instance, didn't think that this team would be at the top of the conference, and you can see why people would argue that, because they aren't going to blow anybody out, but they take advantage of what they can take advantage of. I think Eric Spoelstra literally was game planning for the Pelicans backup center, because when Jackson Hayes came into this game in the second quarter is when it turned, and then it didn't turn back because the Heat just are relentless. They won those 3 minutes by 9 points. That's when they pulled it up to double digits, because they were just blitzing Jackson Hayes to get the ball out of his hands because he couldn't dribble. And they just knew, this is what we do. This is how we win. They're an angry Heat bunch after losing the other night. They aren't going to blow anybody out, but they are going to win basketball games. And so there was, it was interesting watching Zion work alongside Brandon Ingram, who is their number one guy who had some great play. But this Heat team, you can't relax for a few minutes against them, or else they're going to run you out of the gym. So like the NBA, working with what they had to work with, this was only a few nights into the NBA season. I'm sure they would have rather had it a month or 6 weeks into the NBA season when everybody is feeling good and everybody is in their flow. And I think that's why we got basically 5 blowouts. Good ball from a lot of teams, but not so good ball from some teams. Mm-hmm. And I think the Pelicans are trying to work in their guards. They got to get more from Lonzo Ball and Eric Bledsoe. Josh Hart, I think, is going to be a big factor for them because of their starting guards. But that's what I took away from it. The Heat are still good. They're still very, very good.
Eric Spoelstra, perfect on Christmas. Got the 8-0 record. Never lost in coaching a Christmas Day game, which is crazy. Duncan Robinson, Lee, on fire there, especially early, 7 3-pointers. He tied the Christmas Day record set by, previously,
Steph?
Brandon Ingram. In 2019. Yeah, hit 7. That's a weird one. And I saw it.
I was just going to say the thing I was really only looking for in the second half was if Robinson would hit 10 threes, really, because he's incredible when he gets going, and he hit those 6, and that kind of was just the difference in the two teams. It was like he's coming down and he was hitting everything, and it's like this guy could actually go for 40 or 50 here and hit 10, 11, 12 threes because there wasn't a lot of defense there for him. And once he gets his feet set, once he's in rhythm, he's a very, very smooth shooter. So, the fact he only ended with 7, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he cooled up. As the game went on. I saw early in the game, people tweeting, I think Dragic is washed. Wow, they jumped the gun on that one. He's looked great to me. I mean, especially as that game went on. 18 points, 9 assists, 4 steals in 27 minutes. He was looking like bubble Dragic. I thought he looked fantastic. I don't know what the hell they're watching. And they were tweeting it too early, I think, in the game. And then this was Jimmy Butler went out in this one too. And the Heat, as you talked about, Tass, just with their depth, I mean, they just kept rolling. He missed the entire second half. He has the right ankle stiffness. I can't imagine it's too serious, but they shut him down and they just keep on going. I thought the rookie too, Trey, Precious Achiuwa.
Precious, yeah.
He looks good, man. He looks like a steal for them. 11 points, 5 of 7 shooting in limited minutes, 20 minutes, 19 minutes. So could be just another guy the Heat have sort of grab late and plug in there and they go to work.
Sure, they're giving him the Bam buzz, right? They're saying we see a Bam-like future for this guy. That's pretty intense. He's played, 2 games now? But he looked incredible yesterday, and the Heat do seem to do a pretty good job of finding these undervalued players and then turning them into serious contributors. Yeah, he was really good finishing inside, and if that gives them a little bit more bench depth, a little bit more big man depth, that's going to be big because as we saw during the playoffs last year, Myers Leonard, Kelly Olynyk didn't always take the court or stay on the court, but yeah, it was pretty fun to see him. And yeah, I'm kind of with Tass here. The main note I came away with this one was Zion Williamson rebound highlights. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's crazy, Skeets, that you said this guy's highlights are overrated when you're the guy who said you love rebound highlights. He had some awesome ones yesterday. It's almost like an athletic Zach Randolph watching him rebound, right? Sometimes he flies in for a board when you're not expecting it. You're like, cool, that's the athletic side of things. And then on the other flip side of it, sometimes he'll just be standing there. He's as wide as a refrigerator. There's no way you can get around him to get the board. So that was fun to watch. But maybe we're seeing the plan from David Griffin here, having Steven Adams and Zion Williamson. It seemed like a weird fit, perhaps, to be going with these double bigs. But if Bledsoe and Lonzo are going to be bricking away, they need somebody to be grabbing those offensive rebounds. Mm-hmm. And at least the Pelicans were on it. They're going to have to get better guard play, no doubt about it.
Yeah, definitely missing immediately Drew Holiday in the backcourt there. What do you think of the jerseys the Pelicans were rocking? You see a lot of the new statement jerseys, I guess they're called, or those city edition. I can never keep track. I guess they're city edition, whatever. I saw Comrade 831 on Twitter tweeting at us, looking like the Kansas Jayhawks.
Sure.
The colorways and the blocking. It's true. It did look
that, and I don't know. They have a delicate font for the numbers, right? Yeah. Some fancy serifs, which I thought was working on Christmas, but it definitely plays a trick on your eyes for a guy like Zion or even Eric Bledsoe. It really makes them look super bulky, right? Yeah. Just with the color blocking of it. I thought Bledsoe just looked like it used to be called mini LeBron. He was looking like mini Zion out there.
And what'd you think, Tass? I was tweeting it. I'm not a fan. I was asking people their opinion, but in asking people their opinion, I was saying I hated it. The giant ESPN score bug at the bottom. It's an updated look. You a fan of it or not? It was quite big, was it not?
Big as in what do you mean?
It's so tall and takes up so much. And then do we need it to say the season of giving, taking up 2/3 of the screen? It feels like it's what's the point?
I don't know. It didn't bother me. It didn't bother me at all. Maybe it affected the picture. I know JD really doesn't like a squeeze box, how it pushes the rest of the picture up. It doesn't it doesn't pixelate the picture in my brain, but maybe that's just because I'm an amateur. I don't know. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all.
It was too much, I thought, for me, because it sometimes,
it's
sometimes when you're in a bar and you're watching a game and there's all sorts of stuff going on the screen, it distracts you, I think, from the game itself. It's bad. Just go back to the little tiny, just to show us the score. That's all we need to see.
Right.
In the middle, the sort of
it's
middle.
It's very football-like.
Yeah.
What people were pointing out. It had that vibe to it. Trey, are you a fan or not? Too big? You're fine with it? What do you think?
I don't know. I don't pay that much attention. But, I don't know. I say go back to the really old days where they show the score on the screen like once every 10 possessions.
Yeah.
Put it up. You got to pay attention, buddy.
Yeah, I like that idea. We just flash it up. Yeah, full screen. It just shows. It used to show
full screen.
No way. I hate that feeling. I hate when there's a throwback game on NBA TV or something. I don't know what the score is. I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to jump to a conclusion. Oh, this team's going to win. I know this team's up by 6 points early in the first quarter. I know this team's going to win. I can't do it. I can't go back. Well,
let's hear from the stream teamers right now. If anybody's even joining us here on the 26th, I didn't check, but I'm sure somebody is there. Were you a fan of that giant ESPN score bug? You like it big. All right, next game. Speaking of big blowout. Bucks defeated the Warriors 138-99. 39-point loss is the largest margin defeat on Christmas by any team since 1960, when they didn't even have score bugs. They didn't even keep track of the score. That's the weird part with that stat.
They didn't even have bugs back then.
They didn't have bugs. No, you're right. Those came around in the 70s. My biggest takeaway from this, for whatever reason, Steph Curry is garbage on Christmas Day. We need like a deep dive on what's going on here. He is now, when you add up all his Christmas Day games, he's played in a decent amount of them. He's shooting 35 for 116, 30.2% from the field on Christmas, Lily. And then, compare that to the rest of the days that he plays. That's substantially lower for this two-time MVP and future Hall of Famer. It's really weird. He's just not that great. Not that it would have really mattered in this game. I mean, he could have gone for 40, and, they're basically still losing this one. Because outside of James Wiseman, who we can, get into in a second, no Draymond Green and, Kelly Oubre, brutal, Andrew Wiggins. It's bad. I thought the energy was bad in this game in the first half. And maybe I was projecting because I was early in the day already tired. But, obviously the Bucks turned it on. Milton was pretty special as the game went on, and they just ran away. But, oh, man, the Warriors. And I don't know what's going on with Steph on Christmas. He hates it.
This game had no juice at all at any point. There was just no sort of like feel. There was no fire because it didn't feel like the Warriors were really in contention. And even Giannis and the Bucks really didn't seem to be like, they're not going to beat us. We can just go about our business and take care of this whenever we want. But yeah, good news for the Warriors. Wiseman looks like he could be a good player. Very good news.
Yeah.
The bad news is what they're paying Wiggins and Oubre so far. It looks like it's just money down the drain. The thing about Wiggins, what's really good is when he's not scoring and shooting the ball well, he does nothing else at all for his team. In 2 games so far, he's had 1 assist and 1 block and 1 steal in 2 games. So he really, he's the sort of guy who's like, I'm just going to go and set a screen. I'm going to hustle. I'm going to get a tip in. I'm going to get a putback. I'm going to create something here for my players. I'm going to slash. I'm going to go cut and backdoor. I'm going to find someone's going to find me for an alley-oop. And if I'm not there on defense, I'm just going to dive and hustle and give everything I can for this team because they're paying me $30 million. And you know what? It's not all about scoring. It's about everything else you do out there. But that's honestly the part of it that, like, Steve Kerr's being nice, saying, Oubre's had a rough day. He'll be fine. Wiggins will be fine. He's doing the right thing because, that's what a coach has to say. But he must be like, holy shit, man. Like, you're allowed to show some hustle. You're allowed to be like, because we all know players go through shooting slumps, scoring slumps. That happens, right? That happens. That's fine. You can live with that if the guy is like, man, did you see him, though, working his butt off on the defensive end? Did you see him out there setting that pick for his teammates to be like, I haven't got it tonight, but I'm going to make sure my teammate gets it going? And that is something that 7 years into his career, you can criticize Andrew Wiggins for because he just doesn't do anything else, not a thing. And that's just not good enough. Again, the shooting, fine. It comes and goes. Greg Popovich says it all the time. Sometimes they go in, sometimes they don't. It is that simple sometimes. But when you just seem to be like, All right. Well, there's nothing else. I'm all out of ideas. It's like Chief Wiggum when he. This is a way. Yeah, Chief Wiggins. That's what it is. When Marge gets upset on the bridge and she stops the car and refuses to get out, and Chief says, "Have you tried flashing your lights?" Yep. Well, I'm all out of ideas. That's Andrew Wiggins on offense, on defense. There's just no engagement, and he has to be better like that. So I'm just angry again.
Yeah, I can tell. I want to know: are you wearing your indoor-outdoor slippers on Wiggins Island? Are you just shuffling around in the sand?
It just perturbed. It just really annoys me when you just see someone out there. He's so young and athletic, and he's got the ability to do things, and he just seems to be like, I'm out. I've got nothing I can do. And not even for 5 minutes. I can't even just throw my body on the ground and give my team something other than scoring, because the scoring's not there. So, yeah,
you talked about the energy being bad in this one, or we did. Didn't help that we poor Hubie Brown needed a lozenge. Yeah. Oh my God, I could barely hear him. The poor guy had the sore throat or something going on there with Hubie, but. Tass, anything to add to what Lee was saying in burying Andrew Wiggins on Wiggins Island? He is now 6 feet deep out by the sandbar there, or anything else from this game?
Well, you knew what you were getting with Andrew Wiggins. I think the worrisome part for the Golden State Warriors is that you didn't want two Andrew Wiggins on the perimeter, and him and Kelly Oubre are both struggling big time. And if one guy is mirroring the other, I'm worried about the Warriors that this is a team that is going to be on national TV that's just going to look horrid. And I like Steph Curry's disposition after the game, basically saying we need better IQ. We need to be smarter. The clip going around of Kelly Oubre using 20 seconds on a shot clock of just dribble, and then Steph Curry with his hands on his head and Steve Kerr being pissed off is the Warriors' season so far. And I've said it before, Kelly Oubre's been traded now 3 times, twice, here in his younger days. So do teams know something that we don't? I mean, those possessions are bad. He's got to be really good because he's got to make up for Andrew Wiggins, who isn't doing much. When your athletic wings aren't being athletic, Andrew Wiggins doesn't go to the line at all. That's disgusting. I mean, it just can't happen. And so I'm worried that this sort of feeling of everybody not wanting to watch the Golden State Warriors here on Christmas Day is going to continue throughout the season if they're going to be a team like this, because they don't have one guy. They don't have Zion Williamson when everybody else is struggling on the floor, like when Lonzo Ball and Eric Bledsoe aren't giving you any sort of space. Zion Williamson can go in and get you 32 points. They don't have that type of guy, and Steph will step out and take shots, but they don't have anybody offensively right now that can just give you that push, give you that motivation, give you that energy that just to go to the free throw line. They just don't have one of those dudes, especially if Oubre and Wiggins are playing like that. So that was a frustrating part watching this game. And we got 2 Eastern Conference teams to start the day who were pissed off because they lost their opening game. Yeah. 2 really good teams in Milwaukee in this one and Miami in the other one. So it was a recipe for grossness, but you would think that the Warriors coming off their embarrassing loss against Brooklyn would be a different team. But Steve Kerr said, we got to go in and practice. We're feeling good. We're going through our possessions properly. And then this happens on the floor where guys are dribbling out the clock. So, the rookie and James Wiseman isn't going to do it right now. No Draymond Green, Eric Paschall, his substitution isn't going to do it. And if the wings aren't going to do it, I mean, they have 4 guys there that are really going to struggle. So maybe if Draymond Green is more of a coach on the floor and is their energy guy, is their sort of their barometer, their guide, maybe it helps. I don't know.
He's going to help. Draymond Green is going to help, but how much? And is it going to be enough? Is where we're getting at, I think, with this team. Like, of course, it's going to help defensively and playmaking and all that. But
just to yell at guys offensively.
But even then, I'm just not sure it's going to be enough with this team, especially when Oubre and Wiggins are playing the way they are, Trey.
It's time for Steph Curry to put the team on his back. There's really no other way for the Warriors to get out of this. Like Tass is saying, even if Draymond Green comes back, he doesn't really improve the offensive outlook of things, because when you look around Steph, it's going to be a bunch of 35% career three-point shooters with no Klay Thompson coming back. So it's going to be a matter of Curry going into supernova mode. The guy's the only unanimous MVP in league history for a reason. We got to see it. And I think it's going to be a change for the Warriors to have to play that way, because since Steph has become their superstar, they've been a team that is built around teamwork and movement and getting him touches away from the ball, but it's not worth it. It's not worth it if you're putting the ball in the hands of Kelly Oubre and Andrew Wiggins, who are just not going to be getting you easy baskets. You know, maybe Oubre will get some buckets in transition, but he's not putting the ball on the floor, getting to the rim, or creating a shot for himself or others. He's a guy that finishes plays. Same with Wiggins. If he's going to be contributing, that's how he contributes as well, finishing plays. They got one guy out there who can really make things happen. But Steve Kerr, he's a nice guy. Like Lee's saying, he's being nice. He's letting everybody get some touches right now. This is going to be a short season, though. If you want to get back on track, if you want to stay in the mix for the playoffs, it's going to have to be Curry time 24/7.
Yeah. Again, at least James Wiseman.
He's
solid. 18 points, 8 boards, 3 blocks in 25 minutes. Look comfortable shooting the 3, Lee. So that's one positive here for a brutal day for the Warriors fans out there, getting crushed on Christmas by the Bucks. And I know we sort of glossed over Milwaukee there, but I did say Middleton had a really nice game despite Giannis struggling. And I think that's a great point, Tass, that you said, they're pissed off after losing to the Celtics. They came back in that one. Giannis plays good D. Tatum banks one home, and then he misses the free throw. He was angry. He didn't have a great game, but the rest of the team obviously stepped up and got it done. So they got their first W. Let's keep it going here. Nets defeated the Celtics, 2 Eastern Conference teams going on. I thought the first half of this one was awesome. I thought this was, shaping up to be quite a game, but Kevin Durant took over. Nets win 123-95. I mean, it was a big, big victory in the end. What's your biggest takeaway, Lee?
Oh, what you said just then. Kevin Durant saw those first 2 games and thought, man, people are going to be bummed. These games are all sucky, so I'll let the Celtics stay close to us. I have everyone tune in thinking they're getting in for a big, tight second half, and then I'll just go out and destroy the Celtics early in that third quarter, and he was just incredible. Just unbelievable. I mean, I don't know how many more times we need to sort of be surprised at just how good Kevin Durant is, but that offense basically is just like, Kevin, whatever you feel like doing, you can go and do. If you want to drive inside, you can do that. If you want to just take that easy 3 from the top of the paint, you can do that as well. He was incredible. He's incredible fun to watch, and he looks to me like he's only in about third gear right now as well. He's still obviously coming back into game shape from that Achilles injury, but he's finding his own rhythm. He's finding his own groove. He only took 16 shots in the end, but his impact on the game was much greater than that. And then Kyrie Irving, he came out, hit 7 threes, finished with 37 points. And Kyrie seems to be in such a rush out there all the time. Like he just wants to go out there and put this game away as quickly as he can. But very, very impressive performance from the Nets overall. And Kevin Durant, as I say, he just seems to be going at his own speed, getting himself into that position where he knows he's going to have a heavier workload at some point during the season. I thought early on was very good, a good battle with him and Jason Tatum. Defensively, Durant took on that challenge of Tatum, and Tatum responded. He was very good too for the Celtics in that first half. But in the second half, just a big, big change. And when you look at the Celtics, we know defensively they've got some good players who they can put on Kevin Durant at least. As far as a Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart's a hard worker, but good offense always beats good defense, and that's really what the difference was. Kevin Durant was like, I'm just going to take this game when I feel like it, and the Celtics, as good as they are, and I still think the Celtics are one of those top probably 3 teams in the Eastern Conference. Weren't there? Yes, they weren't in the same class, but I think they'll bounce back. They always do. They're still missing Kemba Walker, of course, as well. He'll be back. He makes a difference for them. But Kevin Durant in 3/4 of his capacity, it's still so much.
Trader dropped his mic. He's so excited you're talking about Kevin Durant.
He's just so much fun to watch, and he's just so talented. And Steve Nash, he doesn't have to do much other than just be like, all right, Kevin, your turn. Kyrie, you do your thing. And then those other guys really do seem to be understanding, like, okay, we don't need to try to make this any sort of unnecessary tension in this team. It's Kevin and Kyrie's team. The rest of us get our shots at times. Otherwise, we just sit back and enjoy the show like everybody else.
I love Steve Nash at the beginning of the game doing some coaching. 1 minute in to the Christmas Day game. 1 possession on each side. Don't like what I'm seeing. Calls a timeout. Steve Nash doing some coaching. I think it was more the defensive end. For first possession, Kyrie goes ISO for a good chunk of it. Doesn't pass the ball. Misses. Then on the other end, Boston gets 2 offensive rebounds. Steve Nash doesn't like it, and it really turned the game quick. I mean, the Nets got into it real quick. So I like seeing that. I wonder, John Schumann's listening in here. Mm-hmm. Steve Nash led the league as a player when somebody did the crazy numbers that he high-fived the most out of anybody in the league. Now he's fist bumping everybody. Mm-hmm. I wonder if he's going to lead the league in fist bumps as a head coach.
As a coach. Wow.
I do believe. I mean, he's smashing fists out there. He might injure somebody because he's into it. So I liked that part of it. I think he does. I did say it was the defensive side, but I think he does want some movement on the offensive end. He definitely gets the ball in the hands of Durant, Kyrie, and Karis LeVert when he comes off the bench. But I do agree KD is not 1 billion% yet. But it is so awesome to watch him just get into KD mode. And it is cool, actually, him being in the Eastern Conference, if he's there for a few years. He's one of the guys that matches up with, a KD light and Jason Tatum really, really well defensively. There were some possessions where he guarded Tatum. There's not many guys that have the length of Jason Tatum, but KD definitely does. And the Nets they're good. They're very, very good. I'll ask a question here that Javante Music asks in the team stream. Kyrie outscores KD again. Is this a trend?
Yeah, it's interesting.
2 for 2.
It's interesting. I think I just like it. I find it fascinating too, because in both games, us included, we're talking KD, where Kyrie is actually, he's not outplaying him, but he's having just as dominant performances, Trey, and is scoring more than Kevin Durant. Now, I get it. Kevin Durant's coming back from like one of the worst injuries you can have in basketball, so we're more maybe even a little surprised, like, wow, okay, maybe he is back to 100% healthy, or he's not even there yet and he looks this good. But yeah, is this the media trying to anger Kyrie Irving? That's where I'm going to go with this, because, he is playing phenomenal, but all the headlines are Kevin Durant. Or maybe this is the best scenario here for the Nets harmony. What do you think?
Well, Skeets, to me, it sounds like your third eye is clear, buddy. You're seeing clearly here, right. But you're exactly right. It's a potent mix, these two, because both of them obviously are devastating one-on-one players, right? Like, you would probably put Kyrie and KD in your top 5 guys who can score with the basketball in their hands, but they're both such great off-ball players as well, just being out there. They're 40% catch and shoot 3-point shooters, which gives them value just standing on the other side of the court. So if you're able to have KD and Kyrie waiting on the wings, that gives Karis LeVert a chance to create, and he looked pretty good yesterday, I thought, as well. But they've got a lot of guys who can score with the ball, obviously. But the added benefit that you have of KD and Kyrie both being lights out 3-point shooters, it makes for a team that can get super hot, super fast. They both had 20 points in the second half. And like you're saying, Skeets, we're leading saying, man, look at how Kevin Durant did. And he was awesome. He dominated the third quarter, I thought, and that really put the game away. But then Kyrie really shut the door in the fourth quarter, knocking down some bangers from way deep as well. I don't know. They look tough right now. Certainly there will be a time when the Nets are struggling, and we're talking about Steve Nash actually having to figure something out coaching-wise. But if we're able to remember these 2 games, this is a tough-looking team right now. They look like the class of the Eastern Conference. We're literally 2 games in. But, I mean, when you're talking about KD and Kyrie, those are 2 number 1 scorers who play well alongside each other. It's not the same as having James Harden and Russell Westbrook. It's not the same as even having James Harden and Chris Paul, I would say, just because – the fact of the matter is that both of these guys are lights out offensive players. It's fun to watch. They look good in the Basquiat uniforms. I didn't think they necessarily looked like the Nets, but still pretty cool. The yellow name on the back, a little odd to me, but a fun watch, no doubt.
Yeah, if you miss a layup versus these Nets right now, you might as well just go ahead and give them the points in transition, because they are scoring. They're going the other way. It's either 2 or 3 if they're finding the trailing 3-point shooter. But here's what they should do, though, the Nets. Christmas is now done. I don't know when you guys start doing it. You start taking down the tree, you start taking down the decorations. You're going to box them all up, and you're going to put them away in the attic or the crawl space or the garage, wherever you keep your Christmas decorations. They should do that with KD right now too. Just box him up. Just this is fine. This is great. He looks amazing. Let's not risk anything. We still have a great team. We're led by Kyrie. We got all this depth. We're well coached, it looks like. We could still win in the East 40, 50 games. Shut them down. Put him in the attic. I swear to God, just wait until, obviously into the playoffs. And then we go up there, we turn on the light, and we're like, oh, man, there's a bug up here, I bet, somewhere. And then we find the box and we bring it down, and then we're good to go, and we know he's healthy. That's what I would do. Because I'm all in on this. Just the only thing that will derail this potential for a championship, or at least going to the finals, is going to be an injury to him. Because he's that good. So just shut him down. That's my advice for Steve Nash if he's listening. That would be a bold move, Steve. You can do it. I believe in you. The only thing else I have to add to this game, I thought Jaylen Brown improved with the playmaking. I like him. Like, we've talked him up after his first game, obviously, and he had a pretty good one in this one again, despite the loss. So that's nice to see because they need more playmaking with no Gordon Hayward there. So if Jaylen Brown can start adding that to his game, wow. Kemba Walker's fire Christmas fit. I like the look of that, Trey. I'd love to get your opinion on it.
I got to remember.
It was like a maroon.
Maroon was the color of the season yesterday.
Yeah.
Everybody was wearing maroon. I saw Ruocco and Richard Jefferson were both wearing maroon. Maria Taylor, Jalen Rose at halftime of every single game, rocking the Reds. 'Tis the season, Skeets. What were you wearing yesterday, man?
I was wearing a nice, sort of a Trey Kirby-like sweater, like really, really, I don't know how to describe it, like just like something you would wear like from Patagonia or something like that, like
like a fleecy, like a shirt.
Yeah, fleece. That's the word.
Nice. Keep it cozy, my man.
Kept it very, very cozy. And then I also liked Brad Stevens getting called for a technical foul when he was upset for a foul call versus Tice. I just love anytime Brad Stevens gets angry. It reminds me, I tweeted it out, Lee, it reminds me of you leaning on a wall that said no leaning on a wall. You're such a rebel. You're such a badass here. I love that photo of you so much.
I think coaching tees will be down this season because behind the mask, sometimes it must be hard to figure out exactly what they're saying, because you see when coaches are communicating with their players, they have to like pop it down, So I think the coaches are going to get away with a little bit more at the referees this season. So
speaking of coaches and masks, I think Steve Nash needs a better mask, Tass. And you hooked me up with one, with the Whittler one. It's a nice mask. I think you need to get one in Steve Nash's hands or on his face because I've noticed his is coming down off the nose a whole lot. and because I look like him, I can speak about this. I struggle with this too. Got a slippery, angled nose. So I think it's just dropping down too much. So maybe hook him up with a Whittler mask if you could, because you got the double strap. It's very nice.
Yeah, there's two types of mask wearers, right? There's people who like the soft nose piece, or not only does the Whittler mask have a double strap, which is fantastic.
It's got the. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's got a bit of a plastic thing in the nose that you can mold to the nose a little bit. Now mine's starting to pill a little bit. I think I might need a new one. It's gone through the wash a few times, but the thing is with the coaches, I mean, they just take it off, right. When they yell at a referee.
I'll be honest. I think I get it. It's optics, but it's pretty silly. I said that in the bubble when remember a couple of the older coaches had to have them on. D'Antoni was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I said it. He's like, why is he even wearing it? He takes it off to say whatever he's got to say, like every second play. So it's sort of silly, but yeah.
Yeah, and they want to be heard. And so they feel like, hey, I'm yelling at the ref. I want to get my money's worth. I'm taking off this mask. But I guess hopefully Popovich, I think, is in line first for the vaccine because in the U.S., you got to be over 65. And the only head coach right now is Pop over 65. So he's going to get it first before everybody else. Coach, a lot of assistant coaches and other personnel are 65 plus. But yeah, I read that. So as soon as Pop gets the vaccine, no mask for him.
Wow.
He can start yelling.
Hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah, I'm vaccinated. I can yell at you.
I liked, he has to show his immunization card before he yells. I like the little logo, like Celtics Christmas logo that the Celtics staff was wearing, though. I thought that was a cool little touch. It was like the Celtics, like the little leprechaun or whatever, their logo, but had like a little Christmas hat on it. I thought they looked a lot better than night one. From the Celtics game when they beat the Bucks. They looked like the guilty remnant to me from the leftovers. They were all wearing white, and it just was a weird vibe to it. So I thought they looked better in these ones. All right.
I like the banner jerseys. I'm good with them.
You like them?
Yeah, I think it's, first of all, flaunt it. 17 championships, why not? Flaunt it on the chest. Do it. I think it really makes guys look barrel-chested. I know Tristan Thompson is a barrel-chesty man. but I think the font sort of just drops off right below the pectoralis major, so they kind of, or it sort of lies below the pec, so the pecs stick out a little bit more. But even Jeff Teague looks like a barrel chest.
Oh yeah,
I like it. I like it. Yeah, and the Tommy on the strap, remembering Tommy Heinsohn on the left for everybody. It looks really good.
All right, 2 more games here just to quickly address. Getting into the later games, Lakers defeated the Mavericks 138-115. Lee, biggest takeaway from LA's first victory.
Biggest takeaway is a shout out to Maria Taylor, who referred to Luka Doncic as the donk at halftime.
Wow, I missed this. I did not catch that.
Yeah, wow. It was. I just caught it just as it was on the TV. I said, she just called him the donk. That's great. For the Mavericks, they need Porzingis back immediately. He apparently wanted to play in this game. They overruled and they sat him out. But they not only need him back, but they need him back and they need him to be very, very good straight away, because Doncic right now is really just carrying around a load of role players who at times have been good. Finney Smith and Hardaway and Trey Burke, they can hit threes, but that's basically just filling in the gaps really right now. They don't have that second star quality talent, and it is Porzingis, of course. They've given him.
Yeah, they need a big guy that can also rebound and maybe play some defense.
That's the other thing. 35 second chance points for the Lakers, 17 offensive rebounds for the Lakers, and you just cannot win a game. And the Lakers as well, like Anthony Davis, I think he finished with 28. It looked like he was just walking around out there. LeBron, the only real notable thing was LeBron airballed a free throw. That's really what happened here.
Yeah.
But this is the conundrum here for the Mavericks right now is how good and how long can they rely on Porzingis? Because if you get great production out of him and he plays in, let's say 65 games, then the Mavericks, their best sort of hope, I think, then is maybe top 4 in the West. But without him, Luka, you can just see, like, he's great. Luka's he's an MVP candidate, of course, but the workload on him yesterday was basically the Lakers were like, we can live with everybody else, because their offense was just like, if you're open, shoot it, and that's basically what we knew. We just hope that everyone gets hot, and that just didn't happen. So this one, it was kind of close, but not really. The Lakers were just in control of this one at all times, and
the Lakers sort of just always kept them at like 9 or 10.
But it was never like, I think the Mavericks can actually push his here. It was more the Lakers are like, how long until we just have to sort of stretch this game out and really hammer you guys. So Porzingis, it's a huge question mark on him. Talked about a little bit in the preseason. He's already had a lot of injuries in his young career. At his best, we've seen him. He's great. He's a very good scorer. Defensively, he's good too, but the Mavericks need him back to being that player immediately. Otherwise, they could find themselves really chasing to even make the playoffs in what is a very deep Western Conference.
Trey, biggest takeaway from this one?
LeBron is just chilling right now. This is incredible. The guy's getting load managed just by playing alongside Anthony Davis. It's almost like LeBron doesn't need to go in the lane until the playoffs start. He can just pick teams apart with his passing, which he was doing yesterday. You guys know how I feel about LeBron as a passer.
Yeah.
I would say his greatest skill. I mean, he might retire as the NBA's all-time leading scorer, but it's debatable. But he had some tasty assists yesterday. He was scoring in transition. The ball would get knocked out to him at the three-point line. He would knock it down from a couple of steps out. It looked very easy for LeBron, and it looked pretty easy for AD as well. The Mavericks, they're just not a threat right now. Without Porzingis, and even with Porzingis back, you can clearly see that they are at least a tier behind the Lakers, who look like the class of the league.
Yeah, and Montrezl Harrell and Schroeder tasks great games on Christmas Day for the Lakers. I thought they played really well for them.
They were fighting, unlike the Mavs, and it isn't so much the offense with the Mavs, because they were okay.
Yeah,
talk Porzingis, you think, oh well, maybe they're missing some shooting, because I thought that may be a problem with their offense. Starting beside Luka, you're starting Josh Richardson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Tim Hardaway, and Dwight Powell with some fireballers off the bench and Trey Burke and friends. But they hit shots. They shot almost 50% from the floor, 40% from three. It was the defense. And you bring up Montrezl Harrell and Dennis Schroeder. Those guys were ready to scrap from the get-go. Dennis Schroeder's playing defense. The Lakers, as Trey said, were running it down the throats of the Mavs, and they allowed the Lakers to do whatever they wanted. I mean, they shot 56% from the floor and 49% from three. They just weren't ready. So I don't know if the bright lights play a role here, without the fans, but it felt like this is Christmas Day. and even Luka wasn't up to his regular play. Everybody on the Mavs was just kind of fine. They didn't show the scrappiness of a Lakers team that also coming off a loss wanted to win, but I thought the Mavs would do the same, losing to Phoenix, but they were not ready to play. That's unfortunately a pretty quick summation, but you can't just allow the Lakers just to run it down your throat over and over and over again.
Well, JD, I wanted to bring you in because I actually elected to save this one, the Lakers-Mavericks game, till this morning. I watched the highlight version, like the longer highlight pack of this one, because I was tired of the blowouts. I'd watched 3 up to that point after the Nets pulled away from the Celtics. So I said, I'm watching something else. These are not that great basketball games, so maybe it's me. I'll step away for the greater good, hoping that the game would be awesome and then I catch it in the morning. It obviously wasn't. But I watched, the whole point I wanted to bring in is I watched
Wonder Woman
84, or whatever the hell it's called, WW 84. What are they ever calling this movie? It was worse than the basketball. Oh my God, it's horrible. It's so bad.
Yeah, I saw Nora this on her Instagram story. She was just saying how she hated it. And I was like, wow,
so
it's
bad.
Now I'm really interested.
Well, I went in knowing too, because I saw some reviews like it's really sort of, people were calling it like campy, I guess. And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to go in with that. It's not, I just have that in mind, but it's not campy. It's just crappy. I don't know if they need Grammarly, for that one. Brutal. It looks like crap. Its story is all over the place. It doesn't make a lot of sense. A lot of plot holes. Yeah. Anyway, wasn't a fan.
Well, I'm going to watch it today, and
sure.
I'll get back to you on Monday and see if I agree.
Okay. Oh, yeah, for sure. Let's lock that in. I want your review of Wonder Woman 84 on Monday.
Okay.
All right. Final game here, though. This one I did watch last night because as I took a break, a little palate cleanser, that crap movie. Back to the crap basketball. The Clippers defeated the Nuggets 121-108. Clippers undefeated, taking care of the Lakers on opening night, take care of the Nuggets, who they obviously blew the 3-1 lead to last year's playoffs. But Trey, biggest takeaway from the LA Chippers, as we call them. What do you got?
Yeah, they're playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, and it's been good so far. I think the Clippers have looked good on Christmas, and they look good, obviously, on opening night as well. But we're talking about teams that weren't ready to play, and that was the big thing to me is it looks like 2 games now that the Denver Nuggets have not been ready for the season to start, and it basically comes down to Jamal Murray, who has really struggled so far to start this season. Part of the reason that the Nuggets were so good in the playoffs last year was you were getting consistent, excellent production from both Murray and Jokic. Jokic has been ready to go since the start of the season, almost finished with the triple-double for the second game last night, just a rebound short. But Murray finished with 23 points, but he only shot 9 of 20 from the field, and he didn't really do much until the second half, which is kind of the same story as it was in the season opener for the Nuggets. They need both Murray and Jokic to be playing at a high level to be considered contenders in the Western Conference. We haven't seen it yet. The Nuggets tried to do what they did last year against the Clippers, turn it on in the second half, pull off a comeback victory. But LA really just slammed the door. Paul George was pretty solid again. They got great contributions, I thought, from Nicola Batum, who might not have a great season for the entirety of the season, but he's looking like a nice piece for them right now. Serge Ibaka was really good, making some clutch plays, passing the ball, scoring, playing defense. He was doing a little bit of everything for them out there. The Clippers look good, but I'm a little nervous about the Nuggets. They're just not into it to start the season yet, and I didn't think that was going to be the case this year.
Yeah, Tass, what do you think?
Well, yeah, I love the Clippers playing like a team. I mean, they definitely own the Denver Nuggets. It is crazy to say that because they just dropped a 3-1 series lead to them. But now it's the last 4 games of that series and now a game here in this season. They've been up double digits on them, 5 straight games, taking it to them. They just imploded in the second half of those last 3 games of that series because they didn't want to play like a team. They didn't seem like they really gave a crap about each other. But in this game, everybody contributing. They had 7 guys hit 2 or more threes. I mean, that's a lot of dudes chipping in for everybody. So the Chippers seem like they want to play together, and they're going for it. They are really, really going for it. We talked about how many minutes they played against the Lakers, their stars. Paul George played 37 minutes in this one. They're trying to put W's on the board. They're trying to generate a lot of chemistry just by playing together, and they're moving the ball. They are absolutely getting everybody involved. There's a lot less ISO play and reliance just on Kawhi and Paul George. Kawhi doesn't have to be the guy that shoots every single time if Paul George is playing this way and if everybody else is chipping in this way. And it felt like it was all on Kawhi in the playoffs last year. It looks like the Raptors run. And speaking of the Raptors run, if we're writing a movie here, if we're making a better movie than Wonder Woman, Serge Ibaka, Serge Ibaka would be the inside man, taking out Kawhi Leonard, because Serge Ibaka, Kawhi Leonard's teammate here, and his teammate when they won the championship in 2019, came around. It looked innocuous. The ball was going up, and Serge Ibaka, after joining the Clippers this year, took out Kawhi Leonard with about 6 minutes in this game with a huge elbow to the jaw of Kawhi Leonard, and Kawhi went down bloody. So if the Raptors were trying to perform an inside job, just wait till next season. We'll have one of you guys go join the team and then try and take him out from the inside. But hopefully Kawhi is all right, because that was a crazy sight, seeing all that blood on the floor. Kawhi obviously shaken up.
Don't look at the super slow-mo replay of that. Like Kawhi's jaw, it's like a UFC sort of fight. It just really ripples along, and it's like, oh my God, I can't believe. I don't know if it's anything. I think they just said stitches last night.
He got 8 stitches. With laceration.
I don't know how his jaw didn't get broken in 4 places there. Maybe it did. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out the next day or so. But no, but I mean, when you look at that, you just see the way it did to only get 8 stitches. If that's it, then that's they got away with one.
We joke that he's the Terminator, so I guess it makes sense. Yeah, he's robotic. That was scary though. Yeah, but didn't matter in the end for the victory. They held on. You're right. They got contributions. That ball is moving, man, for the Clippers. That's a little different than last season, where it is a little. It felt like at times 2 teams playing. It's like, and we saw this with the Raptors. Let's be honest too. When Kawhi was there, there were like Kawhi possessions where it's Kawhi ISO and. My God, when he's locked in, it's okay. That's fine. He's going to get a good shot. And then there's the free flowing, everybody's touching and the ball zipping around sort of possessions. Happened on the Raptors. Happened, I think, a little bit last year with the Clippers at times. But this one, so far this season, it's a little more fluid, where PG and Kawhi are a little more just ingrained in that ball zipping around, and they're still going to get theirs because they're superstars. But man, when I saw Serge Ibaka throw like a beautiful pass to the corner, I'm like, what the hell? I don't understand Serge do that in his Raptors days all that often. That was gorgeous, because there was there was a big stretch there. I think it was the start of the second half, was it? Or start of second quarter maybe, where the Clippers hit I know Kennard banged a 3, Reggie Jackson banged a 3. There was another one in the corner. They look good, and
32 assists.
32 assists. Yeah. They assisted on something like over 70% of their field goals there in that game. Anything to add, Lee, from this one?
Not really, but I think George had 9 and Kawhi had 7, and that's very important that their leaders are the ones who are getting those other guys involved. I think Lou Williams as well. I mentioned that in game 1. He just looks like he's ready to play again. He looked like he was very sluggish down there in the bubble. Didn't sort of seem to be into it, and he's back to being kind of the player that they need him to be off the bench, where he just comes out there and scores. He seems to be a bit more invigorated. So certainly a good start here to the Clippers.
Yeah, well, we have some sad news from Christmas. Casey Jones, who was a Hall of Fame guard who played on 8 consecutive NBA championship teams with the Celtics. He died on Friday. The Celtics announced this. He was 88 years old. His list of accomplishments are unreal, Lee. 12 NBA championships as a player and coach, 2 NCAA rings, and 1 Olympic gold medal. The triple crown, as some people call it. Not a lot of people in history have that. The title in the NBA, in the NCAA, and the Olympic gold medal. And it's wild to think about Tim. Look, this is an old player. He was maybe Lee saw him play, but we didn't. He didn't average a ton of points as a player, but he's a Hall of Famer because he was a winner and he did all the little dirty things that you're talking about. You're getting angry like, hey, Wiggins, why can't you do something else? Well, Casey Jones did all of that and more. He only averaged 7.4 points per game for 9 pro seasons, and he's a Hall of Famer. But obviously a sad passing not too long after, Havlicek and Tommy Heinsohn, a couple of Celtics legends there, Lee.
Yeah, you say you joke there that I saw him play. Well, I didn't see him actually play, but I did see him coach in the 1987 All-Star game. He was the Eastern Conference coach. So I was familiar with Casey Jones from the start. But as you mentioned there, every single place he went, he won, which is just incredible. He won the championships. He won in college. He won the Olympic gold medal. He even won as a Los Angeles Lakers assistant coach in 1972, which is kind of remarkable because obviously they were bitter rivals there. And then he goes and joins the Lakers and wins a championship. So, but from all reports, one of the most highly respected people in the basketball world. Larry Bird said he was the nicest person he'd ever come across in his time in the NBA. Of course, KC coached Larry in the 80s there. They won a couple of championships. So, yes, sadly, he passed away, but what an incredibly successful basketball career he had, not just on the court, but he was also impactful for many changes off the court as well. So sad day there for the Celtics.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything to add, Trey or Tass, about Casey Jones passing?
I'm a little bit like Lee. I knew him as a coach showing up on Skybox basketball cards. But, I mean, even for me, at that point, that's 30 years ago. Casey Jones is a legend. Even if you don't know a whole bunch about him, there's a lot of Celtics lore out there that it seems that we're losing right now. So it's nice to be reminded.
Tassie?
Well said.
Beautiful. Well, let's stick with Tass, though, because we got tweet of the night time.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Twitter.
What do you got, Tass? I saw you asking the people on Twitter last night, hey, what's the hot tweet from today? Did you get any help?
Of course, the people helped out. And like many, many tweets of the night, this one goes to the great Josiah Johnson. He tweeted a caption and a video. All right, so let me set it up for you. The caption, Jesus and the apostles after drinking too much wine at his birthday party, along with a video of Drake talking about Raptors Jurassic Park watch parties. Here's Drake.
In the whole world, look around you. Look at this. We created this. This didn't exist before we were in the whole world. Look around you. Look at this. We created this. This didn't exist before we were in the whole world. Look around you. Look at this. We created this. This didn't exist before we were.
It's too good. It's too good. Jesus and the apostles after drinking too much wine at his birthday party. Now, I don't know why I just loved it so much because, number one, it's Drake. That plays a big part. Number two, we were there that game. That was game 5 of the 2019 finals where Jurassic Park had their watch party and Drake told all the media, hey, we made this happen. And the perfect tweet on Christmas Day to caption it with Jesus and the apostles after drinking too much wine at his birthday party. We did this. The apostles, as Drake said, and Drake's voice, perfect. Good stuff. It's a good combination. It's hard to tee up a tweet caption with a video, but we can make it happen.
Yeah, you did it.
We did it because Josiah Johnson came through. And listen, a billion people replied to me, so thank you so much to everybody who sent in their tweets. A lot of tweets were good, but it was Christmas Day, so I think people were trying to preserve themselves, maybe not firing off their best tweets, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 during the day, and they were just good. They weren't home runs. So Josiah Johnson, the greatest meme man of all time. We don't have to throw that label on him, but he's great either way.
He's a king for a reason, right? All right.
No doubt. And hold on, let me just also give a mention here to a young fan who's watching right now, Ryan Spruce.
Wow.
His son, Harrison. Harrison is watching the live stream of his favorite podcast.
In the moment. This is incredible.
Yeah, and the new shirt he got for Christmas. So, wow, this is meta. Hey, if you're watching, Harrison and Ryan, thank you so much. And the sweater looks great.
Yeah, it really spruces the place up.
Oh! Love it. That does look good. Those colors are popping there, Ryan. Great stuff. Okay, let's get to the pick'em results because we had a Christmas Day game that we were betting on or picking. It was the Clippers Nuggets. Clippers were only favored by 1.5. I mean, it was a tight line. LAC gets the win. That's a W for Tass. That's a W for me. That's a W for Lily. Trey was the only one taking Denver. So we got 3 of us that are 2-0. Trey is the lone 1-1 man. But we got games on today, Tass. We got games on Sunday. I think there's 20 games on this NBA weekend, which we'll be back on Monday to recap as many as we can. But what's the game we're picking from here?
20. Does it feel like the weekend?
No. I said before you jumped on, Tass, to the other guys, it feels like we're in January already, right? Because we're so used with our schedule usually as we take off like a week or two around Christmas and then we come back and it's sort of the new year or it's close to the new year at least. So this is strange that it's the 26th right now of December And no, it doesn't feel like the weekend at all. So yeah,
we never do shows after Christmas. Usually we're sending in something that's pre-recorded, so that's what's usually playing right now. But we're going live so we can give Ryan and Harrison a shout out. There's 10 games today on Saturday here in the association. That's if the Rockets and Blazers play their game. I assume they will.
Sounds like they are.
But there's guys sitting out, major guys sitting out for the Houston Rockets: John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, Eric Gordon. So I guess they're going to suit up. I guess James Harden's going to suit up. Do Eric Gordon and John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins lose paychecks? No, I guess not. No. If you contract the virus, that's fine. You can still get paid. But I guess James Harden, who would be, hit with a paycheck because of his actions. But anyway, I assume he's playing. We're not doing that game because who the heck knows who's playing in that game. 10 games got Philadelphia and the Knicks. I'm going tough for you guys. An 8.5-point spread. Philadelphia is favored. Knicks getting those points so they can lose by 8 or less.
Wow.
This one on NBA TV.
You believe in the young Knicks there. Well, Tibbs have those young guys playing hard, keeping it close at least. Trey, why don't you get started? You like Philly to win by 9 points or more?
I do. December 26th, playing the Knicks. Sixers the pick.
All right. Take the line. Go to Philly. Lee, we'll go to you next.
I, too, agree with you.
Nice
that's it. That's all I'm trying to find something. It wasn't quite there, but yeah.
All right. Let's make this exciting on Boxing Day. Give me the Knicks, baby. Keeping it close. They don't got to win. They just got to keep it close. We had all these blowouts. All the blowouts were for Christmas, not Boxing Day. Those are the close games. So, give me the Knicks to somehow miraculously keep this tight game, I guess, Tats. I got the plus 8.5 New York.
God, I can't remember all these days blending together. I had a Cam Stewart line for. I'm trying to, Trey giving us the Cam Stewart line there. Wizards and Kings. What was his line?
All I remember is unders the pick. That's the last thing. He's definitely going under.
I had a play on his swim up bar, looking good the last few days, and I can't remember it now. Trim up bar.
I can't believe nobody dropped a Leonard. Fucking Kawhi getting the mouth stitches. Okay, where you going?
I think the Sixers didn't cover against the Washington Wizards. It wasn't a blowout against the Wizards. I think the same thing happens today. I don't think the Sixers are really a blowout team at this point. So I'll take the Knicks and 8.5 points. Why not?
Woohoo! We are split. Tass and I with the Knicks to cover, and we got Trey and Lily taking Philly to win by 9 or more points in our pick'em battle. All right, good luck to everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for listening and downloading the podcast. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, please leave us that 5-star rating and review. If you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button, tell your friends. We really appreciate it. We'll be back on Monday. JD, we're giving you Sunday off.
Yay!
How's that? Yay! We can go run over some people in GTA.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait. I'm going to go to the Lincoln was like, I'm just going to the strip club. And Rachel's like, what? Can you get lap dances? I like, lap dances are the least of our worries. It's like the very last thing on the list of problematic things with that game. So, anyway, I'll be at the strip club in GTA.
Well, if you see James Harden in GTA in the back of the pick a photo. We'll call him out. We'll be back on Monday to recap the NBA weekend action. Stay safe, guys. We'll see you then. Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, and the shout-outs continue here to longtime fan of No Dunks, the starters of the Basketball Jones, Simon. It's his birthday. Happy birthday, Simon. Happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday, Simon.
Happy birthday, Simon. Yeah. Embrace the weekend, people.